Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. I wish to speak with you today about the body. It's quite typical that people on your planet are very identified with their bodies and the bodies of other people, as if the body is that other person. And when you look in the mirror, that body is you. And yet it doesn't take much to have you realize that this isn't true. Several years ago, this one and his children were all sitting around the bed where his wife was lying. And somehow it worked out that everybody who had come to visit had left. It was about 5 p.m. And there was no one there around the bed except him and his children. And there was the body of his wife, labored in her breathing. And they all sat in silence, listening to her breathe with their eyes closed. She looked very beautiful. And finally, she breathed out and didn't breathe in again. And the thing that was so obvious was she wasn't the body. Who she was wasn't in that body anymore. And he was pretty much obsessed with that body. He loved that body. Except when she wasn't in it anymore, he didn't have any interest in it. It was like, how can we get this thing out of here? He called up some people. They came over with a big plastic bag and put the body in it and left the room. And it was so obvious at that moment that who his wife was not that body. Interestingly, after staying in the house for a month or two, he saw all the places where his wife had put her love and her essence into the house, into the garden. She was a big gardener. Into the decor. And yet, without her spirit activating those things, he had no real interest or identification with the house anymore. And he very quickly put it up for sale and sold it. When you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror, and you realize that this body is not really youthful anymore, you may wonder, how could anybody like this? How could anybody love this whole body here? It's puffy and wrinkled and tired. But actually, what you're looking at is love itself, presently occupying a body. And that love is supremely attractive and wonderful and worthy. It's everything. In the morning when this one wakes up and stumbles into the bathroom, and looks at his reflection, he's grateful that people can see past this body into who he really is and love him anyway. And that's the challenge. Can you love who you really are and not who you've become identified with necessarily? I mean, you could love that too, but that's not who you really are. Who you really are is love itself. And when you love another person, that's what you're loving in them. And if you see that love, it will color how they look. They will look beautiful. And they will look perfectly okay, exactly the way they are. And it really won't matter how old they are. The part of them that you love is ageless. And the part of you that you love is ageless and never dies. And is as energetic and happy as it was the moment it came into a body. Focus on that. Focus on the love that you are. And the love in everything. And everything will start to look beautiful. Even people who are determined to convince you that they're not okay will look okay. They'll look like okay people trying to convince themselves that they're not okay, but they'll still look okay. Because the love that they are doesn't die, cannot die. And it enlivens everything. Be on the lookout for love everywhere, and you will find it. And you will celebrate it. Look for the love in the mirror and let it fulfill you. You're doing a sacred thing. You're bringing love itself to a body. Don't forget what's really activating everything. It's not the body. It's not the brain. It's you. Love itself. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.